Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Here we go again with another all-time classic. One of the greatest games in 8-bit history. I would say it's the greatest boxing game from an arcade standpoint. This is a game that never gets old, you never get tired of playing. Easy to pick up and play any given day of the week. And just so entertaining and fun. Like, it's just so entertaining. It's just such a fun game to play. And if you had the fortune as a child to actually get to Mike Tyson himself, there's nobody as a child, 7, 8, 9 years old, that beat Mike Tyson on their first playthrough. If somebody told me that they beat Mike Tyson on their first playthrough, I knew that they were a liar immediately. Because if the guy touched you one time, you were knocked down. You know, that's all he had to do was just touch you once, and you got knocked down. And it was almost like a challenge of the whole entire neighborhood of who could actually even knock down Tyson just once. I remember that so well, of who was it that could actually get the first knockdown on Mike. And it was, I can tell you, I'll just be straight up honest with you. Like, it took me probably about 20 or 30 times just to knock him down. Because, like, when I first played this game, I was only probably about 6 or 7 years old. And eventually I went on to not only knock Tyson down, but I would beat him by decision. I couldn't even knock him out. I remember my first victory over him was actually by decision. And then on my second playthrough, I actually got a TKO on him. But to this day, I don't think I've ever beat Mike Tyson by knockout, by the count of 10. Anybody that has done that, I salute you and say nicely done. But I have no recollection of actually knocking out Mike Tyson in this classic game. But again, very legendary, all-time classic on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Just something that never gets old. It's just even just a joy to watch it. Just watching somebody else play is just brings back great memories. And again, it's just so engaging, and it's a game that doesn't take a long time to beat. Like, you can beat the game, quite frankly, in less than an hour. Definitely one sitting, one play session is enough to actually go through the entire game. And as an adult, you can most certainly beat Mike on the first try. And that's why I emphasized earlier when I said that as a child, if you played this as a child, your first time through, there's no way. And I would say, outside of Mike, the toughest matchups for me before Mike that gave me the most problems, I would say, is Mr. Sandman. He always gave me the very most trouble. And it took me a while to figure him out. Same thing with Bald Bull. Bald Bull is kind of like Mr. Sandman light. But Mr. Sandman is just, it was hard for me to get his timing. I remember very well just how difficult of a time I had finally beating him. It paled in comparison to actually Tyson himself, but I would say he was the second biggest challenge in the game. And I'm interested to hear what you guys, man, like, who was it that gave you guys the most problems when you played this in your youth? Again, as an adult playing through this game, you can now I can go through the game now without getting touched. But your childhood memories of playing this game, who was it that gave you the most problems outside of Mike Tyson himself? Go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section. I would love to hear from you guys, to hear your stories of playing this classic legendary game, and to see who's got what